Well, what a difference a week makes. So the story was Josh Brolin and perhaps Matthew McConaughey were in the running to play Hal Jordan's Green Lantern. Well, nope, they're not. So we'll run through the rumor mill yet again to see where this is going. Once again, Cosmic Book News covering this story via The Hollywood Reporter. Also, yes, Ewan McGregor was mentioned in the lineup there. It was kind of like Josh Brolin was the guy they were shooting for, but if he didn't want it, next up was Matthew McConaughey. And if he didn't want it, then Ewan McGregor. But there's really no mention, at least not in this article, of Ewan McGregor. So Hollywood Reporter reported on Tuesday Josh Brolin was eyed to play Hal. So it's not like the rumor was false. It was true that they were interested in him doing it. And I think it's key considering his age, about an old man Hal Jordan. I didn't know they would go that old, but then again, I remember the rumors about Tom Cruise, and you're pretty much in the same, neck of the woods there. Although Tom Cruise doesn't appear to age as much as everyone else, so I don't know how old he would play, but he would have been the mentor, Hal Jordan, to the younger Jon Stewart. And that's still the template they're going with, even though I imagine the plot has drastically changed, since this will be mostly an Earth-based series rather than a film. So anyway, so they're saying that the actor received an offer at the end of August, but by the end of this past weekend, so this is pretty recent, he decided he didn't want to play the role. McGloin comes out. This is McGloin, right? I mean, he's mostly it's his site. Weighs in that he's, am I completely off here? Yeah, that there's other rumors from the MCU over there that he might return as King Thanos. So this alternate version of Thanos in Avengers Secret Wars. So it might just be a glorified cameo, but nevertheless, maybe that is something he's already, a part of and can't get bogged down in the series. Although the series, I'm guessing, it's a one and done thing for Hal Jordan. I don't think he survives it, or at least disappears or something like that. But anyway, Brolin he's played 2 superhero roles already with Thanos and Cable. He didn't come back as Cable in Deadpool. Was there? No, there wasn't. Anyway, so it could be, he says, look, that's enough of the superheroes. Plus, he played Jonah Hex, but no one remembers that one. And so he decided to pass on this one. So since Lantern is being compared to HBO's True Detective, maybe that's how Matthew McConaughey came about, but there's less, apparently, sources or evidence that this rumor was ever possible. But Brolin was in the running, according to Hollywood Reporter, but he passed on it. But that would mean that DC Studios wanted him for the role, which kind of solidifies the idea of a much older Hal Jordan. So the internet was all abuzz at the prospect of Brolin playing Jordan, although he was never a sure thing. Speculation also arose around several other A-listers, but it's unclear how valid those rumors are. Matthew McConaughey, for example, will not be donning the ring, according to sources. Now, it doesn't mention Ewan McGregor, but McCloin takes this. Sounds like it also means Ewan McGregor isn't taking the role. But who knows, next week or maybe tomorrow. I'm taping this Thursday for tomorrow, for Friday. So by the time I put it out, Ewan McGregor is Hal Jordan. So meanwhile, yes, they're searching for a young, more fresh-faced actor for the role of Green Lantern Jon Stewart. And I think that's more to the point that they want a young and therefore cheaper, unknown actor, just like with Superman and so on, to continue on in the role for quite some time. So I'm thinking Hal Jordan will not survive this series. And so the idea of having a well-known actor take on the role and probably would cost a little more to put him in it, means they'll do it for this one go around, and then that'll be that. That's my guess. So there you go. It won't be Josh Brolin, but they did want him to be. Hey, who's the best female superhero? It's Wonder Woman. You know, come on, Captain Marvel. He's not a woman. Yeah, no. Black Widow, Scarlet Witch, too crazy, but very powerful. And Black Widow would have been second, but it's got to be Wonder Woman. Oh, I don't get to see the results. All right, let's see. So, oh boy, I guess Ewan McGregor, huh? Well, and Chris Pine is someone I thought of that would make a good Hal Jordan. Now, he's already played Steve Trevor and Wonder Woman, but do remember early on when the DCU was announced with James Gunn, they did mention possibly recasting DCEU actors in other roles, and apparently did offer Henry Cavill a role. I don't know if it was Hal Jordan, maybe it was, you know, but they said he was too old for Superman, but it sounds like he would be too young for their Hal Jordan. Yeah. I still wonder, because the mysterious Ultraman character you see and the behind the scenes footage, and that there's been rumors that there's going to be this Ultraman who becomes a Bizarro Superman because he's actually a clone of Superman that Lex Luthor made and all that. And you see this guy with the big U on his chest, he's all covered up and masked up. Lately, there's been a theory that might actually be Metamorpho, just covered up because, you know, he looks weird. And with Mr. Terrific there and having a team already, they might want to have a setup for the Terrifics to, you know, get made in some form or fashion, maybe a series and what have you. That might be what the deal is, that's Metamorpho, and there is no Bizarro Superman, or, you know, and Ultraman is just some name they took, even though, you know, it's a nod to the Earth 3 evil Superman. But so I don't know, but at the time I kind of wondered if that was the role they offered. Hey, Henry, you and Chris kind of look alike, so you could play his evil clone. And he's like, yeah, no thanks. Maybe they should have offered him Batman, you know. But anyway, so Chris Pine and Timothy Olyphant are now rumored to be up next to play Green Lantern Hal Jordan for James Gunn's DCU Lanterns. Now, Chris Pine, he's getting up there, but he's younger than Josh Brolin, right? You know, I mean, I don't know about how much, but certainly much younger than him. The rumors followed, Josh Brolin passed on the roll. It said McConaughey and other A-listers appeared to be just rumors. Ewan McGregor was also said to be on that list. So it looks like he is out, if this is to be true. The latest rumors come via Apocalyptic Horseman on X. Scoop! Although McConaughey is on the short list, he's not the next choice. It's in fact Chris Pine. Also on the list is Timothy Olyphant. So Chris Pine, I've liked the guy. I liked him as Captain Kirk in the first Star Trek movie. I liked him playing in the role. I thought that was a good cast. That was the best part of the, bad robot Star Trek movies. But, the Into Darkness was just god-awful. But it wasn't his fault. He did a good job of that. Liked him as Steve Trevor, which is kind of a tough role to play, to pull off for a guy to be the love interest of the female superhero. But he did it, and it was pretty good. The second movie, not his fault. And not Gal Gadot's fault either. It was just a stupid movie, and that's unfortunate. But the first Wonder Woman was really good. So he'd make a good choice. And if they're not, and they did say that previous actors from the DCEU could return in other roles, and this certainly would be one. But it's also, if he's just a one and done guy could still be in play here. So a couple of scoopers have also mentioned Chris Pine as a fan favorite choice to play the character. We all know who already had a role in it, Steve Trevor. And the Wonder Woman movies, Chris Pine is also known from playing Captain Kirk, Star Trek, blah, 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 Dungeons and Dragons. However, Chris Pine has never been a TV star. He did do a miniseries, didn't he? And wasn't that, what's her name? God, why am I blanking on the Wonder Woman director's name? But they did what I Am the Night, I think, was the name of it. And wasn't that just like a miniseries? But anyway, I also have a hard time believing Chris Pine will star in a low-budget TV series, which is what I'm guessing Lanterns will be as it's set on Earth. Well, what's he done lately, And maybe they're paying him not too bad of a paycheck since it's, I'm thinking, one and done, and he won't be sticking around as Hal Jordan going forward. So the previous Green Lantern series in development for HBO was going to be a huge space opera, but that all got thrown out by David Zaslav, who I'm told demanded that Gunn reboot the DC characters with cheaper talent. That doesn't fit with Chris Pine. It might fit now. Again, yes, Dungeons and Dragons. I haven't watched it, but people who did said it wasn't that bad. But it bombed. Nobody showed up, So, yeah, Oliphant last seen in Mandalorian. And, I guess especially when they're going for the older Hal Jordan. And so maybe he is, known for Justified, Deadwood, and Mandalorian and all that. So it could be. Yeah, Army Hammer. Well, yeah, he would be cheap because he's pretty desperate for work. But I don't know that they'll go for that. So who knows? Maybe Captain Kirk will be Hal Jordan, but then maybe Oliphant, and Ewan, I don't know. It doesn't sound like it. But considering the Josh Brolin was almost happened, the rumor was not fake, it was false or what have you, it was true. It's just he didn't want the role. So it tells you what they're shooting for. And so I think that fits within the criteria of Hal Jordan will not be long for the DCU. And it's unfortunate for the character and all that. And I, from my age, being in my 50s, Hal Jordan was the Green Lantern for so long. So, but anyway, looking like, it pans out. As for McConaughey and Ewan McGregor, perhaps there wasn't anything to it. And there may be nothing to this, too. But the plot seems to be pretty much revealed here, I think. Meanwhile, elsewhere with DC stuff, oh boy, it's going to be Batman Day on September 21st. So, they're going to sell it with 85. Wow. With merchandise and stuff, Oh boy, there'll be a Warner Brothers studio tour. It'll feature, stuff. All the Batman movies. Will you watch them all? Long Halloween Deluxe Edition, all kind of stuff. More to come on Batman Day. There's plenty more Batman Day. Yeah. Well, good luck with that. And not really looking forward to Absolute Batman, but I'll look at it, but I don't know. So who has the best origin story? Well, out of this selection, it's Spider-Man. Of course, Batman's pretty good. Superman, I'm always going to respect because he's number one in the first, Wolverine is a bit convoluted, it took a while to get there. But Spider-Man, that whole narrative and just that his motive is guilt, as he is a humbled hero, when he was so arrogant, and that it's right in his face that he could have saved his uncle, but he was too busy being self-absorbed, and he learned a very powerful and hard lesson. And so, yeah, the Spider-Man origin is probably going to beat them all. So there you go. Spider-Man it did say view the results. Damn it. Now I can't. Oh, well, whatever. What do I know? Meanwhile, speaking of Superman, So the Superman and Lois final season teases, what if Superman never returns? So what's, he's going to disappear or die? This seems to indicate doomsday. But I don't know. But he's suggesting that Klein heard a rumor that he will lose his powers because they don't have the money to shoot episodes with superpowers in it. And they said it was going so bad with the lack of interest in the CW shows, apparently. Not that the ratings were bad, it just wasn't enough, because we now know CW never made money. So it didn't matter if you were the hottest show on the network that doesn't make any money. So he says the insiders told him it was so bad they should have ended it with season 3. So they probably should have had some kind of wrap up. But so it's only going to be a handful of episodes. Most of the cast has been let go. They will return as guest stars, but that'll be very brief. And for the most part, it'll be Superman and Lois, and of course the kids, and I think Lex Luthor, of course, who probably would still be guest star status. So a 2-hour premiere. So it says season 4 picks up right where it left off last season, with Superman and Luthor's monster locked in a ferocious moon-wrecking battle. So they probably spent all the money on special effects for the first episode, and then that's it. So he fights for his life against the seemingly unstoppable creature, Doomsday. Back on the ground, General Lane, guest star, formerly main cast, struggles to stay alive after being kidnapped by Luthor's henchmen, while Lois, Jordan, and Jonathan race against time to rescue him. But standing in their way is Lex Luthor himself, who has permanently moved to Smallville as the next step in his malicious plan to destroy Lois Lane. Meanwhile, Lana Lang, guest star, of course, uses her position as mayor to fight back against Luthor's schemes, a move which puts her in the sights of the most dangerous man in the world and threatens everything she holds dear. Oh, well, it's sounding like maybe Superman and Doomsday go into outer space, and they don't know if he's ever coming back. So maybe that's the deal. So John Henry Irons, guest star, who must put his Ironworks plans on hold to rejoin the DOD now that General Lane is missing. But they aren't the only duo in trouble, as Chrissy and Kyle face an uphill battle of their own with countless roadblocks that threaten to ruin their future together. Yeah, the soap opera romance. But now that they're just guest stars, but I guess they'll tie that up. Amid all the chaos, Sarah Cortez and Natalie also join the fight against Luthor, while both facing impossible decisions about their paths in life. And as Clark's battle with the terrifying monster continues, Lois, her boys, and the world must face an unthinkable possibility. What if Superman never returns? So it seems like a bit of soap opera will be the bulk of the show, because it's cheaper to do, and they'll have some footage. Meanwhile, in space, it's Superman fighting Doomsday. Repurposed footage. And then finally, maybe only his cape floats back. And they're like, oh no. And then maybe by the end, he'll show up. Yeah. It's a sad end to a really nice show. It was good, but it came too late for the failure that was DC on CW. So anyway, who was the best MCU director? The Russo brothers. They did the best movie, Winter Soldier, so there you go. Oh, I forgot. It showed me. Yeah, see, everyone agrees with me. Favreau in second place. Yeah. I mean, I know Joss Whedon's an asshole, but he did a better job than Taika Waititi. But I mean, they're both assholes, so I mean, I don't know. Well, anyway, yeah, there you go. Too bad for Superman, but hopefully they can cobble something that's somewhat a satisfying resolution for it. And still, his outfit looks better than the movie one now. How does that happen? Oh, well, it did. So, there you go. You're all caught up with stuff I took time to talk about.